Hello and welcome to a lecture from History of Journalism. I'm Professor Harper, and today I'm going to give you some information, a brief bio about Joan Didion, an interesting writer who is still alive and continues to write. She was born in Sacramento, California in 1934. She was a military brat and lived on military bases in Colorado and Michigan. Her family settled in California, and she graduated from the University of California at Berkeley in 1956. She worked for 8 years at Vogue magazine and became associate features editor and wrote book and film reviews for National Review and Mademoiselle, and then moved back to California to freelance. Her most celebrated writing has been in the form of essays. I prefer to call them kind of story sketches because they're slice of life stories. In 1968, Slouching Towards Bethlehem was a collection of essays that she'd written for a variety of magazines. She said, after writing these various essays, my only advantage as a reporter is that I am so physically small, so temperamentally unobtrusive, and so neurotically inarticulate that people tend to forget that my presence runs counter to their best interests, and it always does. That is one last thing to remember. Writers are always selling somebody out. A little cynical, but there's some truth in that. 1979, the White Album was named for the legendary Beatles album. She said that the album epitomized the 1960s for her. In her book, she recalled the months that she had spent in a psychiatric facility in Santa Monica, California. Salvador in 1983 dealt with a personal visit that she made with her husband to El Salvador. 1987, Miami explored the population there and what was going on in the 1980s. 2005, the year of magical thinking, she wrote about her husband's death, and during that time, their daughter, Quintana Roo Dunn, also was gravely ill and later died. In 2007, she adapted the memoir into a one-woman play, which premiered on Broadway and starred her friend Vanessa Redgrave. An interesting writer. I think that there's a lot to learn, particularly when it comes to descriptions from Joan Didion. I think also her use of ordinary events and building them into a kind of broader brushstroke to talk about society is interesting as well. So, Joan Didion, interesting writer, and that's what we have for today. We'll see you online. Thanks very much.